It's the reason that your boss tells you you don't need a union. Oh, workers in the past secured OSHA. Oh, that will protect you. That'll protect you. OSHA will protect you.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Workers' Memorial Day is today, the day that we recorded this taping of the show. But for you listening, it was last week. It was Thursday, April the 28th. Workers' Memorial Day takes place annually around the world on April 28th. It's an international day of remembrance and action for workers killed, disabled, injured, or made unwell by their work. Workers' Memorial Day is an opportunity to highlight the preventable nature of most workplace incidents and ill health, and to promote campaigns and union organization in the fight for improvements in workplace safety. The slogan for the day is "Remember the dead, fight for the living." And there's a book recently written about accidents on the job and in society, and how and how broadly speaking it would be accurate to say that they're not accidents, they're decisions made by society to not prioritize the health of working people. And there was a really interesting, and I can't remember what the name of the book was, but the author was interviewed on the Majority Report, and she talked about how the graph of accidental deaths in the workplace and in society tracks with wealth inequality, which is really interesting, and how the more unequal our wealth is, the more likely that working people are going to die on the job and in society, because and that makes sense, because the more unequal we are as far as wealth is concerned, the more power that the wealthy are going to have over society, and the less power that working people are going to have over society, and so the less power that we have in decisions that affect our ability to not be dead. So I'm going to have to figure out if I can find that book and maybe interview the author on the show. But every year around this time, the AFL-CIO, which is the nation's largest federation of unions, it is not a union itself, releases its Death on the Job report. So I'm just going to read several statistics from this report. They gathered this data from fiscal year 2020. And in fiscal year 2020, 340 workers died each day from hazardous working conditions. In the United States, 350 people dying per day. That's a lot. 4,764 workers were killed on the job in the United States. An estimated 120,000 workers died from occupational diseases. The job fatality rate was 3.4 per 100,000 workers. The cost of job injuries and illnesses is enormous, estimated at $176 billion to $352 billion per year. And this is, as I'm going over all of these statistics, so many of these are totally unnecessary. Like, they did not have to happen. And they wouldn't happen if we took safety more seriously, if the workers were able to implement safer working conditions on their job. Because that's why union workplaces are so much more safe than non-union workplaces, is because we take our lives seriously, right? A lot more seriously than the bosses do. Industries with the highest fatality rates in 2020 were agriculture, forestry, fishing, and hunting, with 21.5 per 100,000 workers. Transportation and warehousing, with 13.4 deaths per 100,000 workers. Mining, quarrying, and oil and gas extraction at 10.5 per 100,000 workers. Construction at 10.2 per 100,000 workers. And wholesale trade, 4.6 per 100,000 workers. Notice how law enforcement isn't in that list.
I did notice that.
That's just some food for thought. OSHA resources in FY 2021 are still too few to be a deterrent. There are only 1,719 inspectors. That's 755 federal and 964 state inspectors to inspect the 10.4 million workplaces under the Occupational Safety and Health Act, under the jurisdiction of the Occupational Safety and Health Act. The number of OSHA inspectors is near its lowest number since the agency opened more than 50 years ago. That's lowest total number. That's not number of inspectors per worker. It is near its lowest total number in 50 years.
Wow.
What has the population like doubled in the last 50 years? I mean, it's insane. There is one inspector for every 81,000 workers. How is it? And the thing that's frustrating about this is that OSHA is a reason that losers on the radio, on right-wing talk radio, tell you that you don't need a union. It's the reason that your boss tells you you don't need a union. Oh, workers in the past secured OSHA. Oh, that will protect you. That'll protect you. OSHA will protect you. Give me a break.
And conveniently, though, while at the same time saying that out the other side of their mouth, OSHA would be one of those onerous regulations,
of course,
that they face from the government. And of course, we hear lots of whining and crying from business folks, even small business folks who think that these government regulations, such as OSHA, such as, workers not dying on the job, are just too overwhelming and interfere with their profit seeking. These statistics are interesting because just this week, to go back to Amazon, OSHA's investigation regarding the tornado that hit the Amazon facility up in Illinois, I believe towards the end of last year. So OSHA determined there were at least 3 major errors there, 3 major flaws in the operations, which ultimately put people at risk. Mm-hmm. And the punishment was a letter from OSHA. That's it. Yeah. Not even a fine, no real requirements for change. So even when there is an inspection, there's no teeth. There's no teeth.
No teeth. No teeth at all. I mean, it's like these people are talking out of 3 sides of their mouth. I mean, on the one hand, they're saying you don't need a union because you've already won OSHA, and then on the other hand, they're saying we need to roll back what little safety regulations there are. And then on the third hand, they're saying you should secure your life for yourself and be an individual and whatever. When on the first hand, they were telling us to trust the government.
Right.
I mean, it's so bankrupt.
It's a bundle of contradictions.
It doesn't make sense. I don't understand how people can be capitalist bootlickers and conservatives in that sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You've got to do too many mental gymnastics. The report also said that penalties in fiscal year 2021 are still too weak, and we just talked about that. The average penalty for a serious violation was $4,460 for federal OSHA. The average penalty for a serious violation was $2,421 for OSHA state plans. The median penalty for killing a worker was $9,753. This is in a situation where OSHA has found that your negligent workplace practices killed a person. That's what all the evidence is there, and the findings have been determined. You killed a person. What's the fine? What's your punishment? Oh, $9,000. Like a freaking used car. A freaking used car. That's what workers are worth to these people. Not to the OSHA investigators necessarily, but to the people who make the laws. And we're worth even less. We're worth even less to people on right-wing talk radio who want to roll it back. We're worth less than a used car. The median penalty for killing a worker was $5,825 for state OSHA plans. Only 115 worker deaths have been criminally prosecuted under the Occupational Safety and Health Act since 1970.
Wow.
100 deaths since 1970, and we have over 300 workers dying on the job every single day. Every day in this country. 300 workers are dying. Every day in this country, thousands of people are dying from diseases that they got from the job, and we've only criminally prosecuted 100 cases. It's disgusting.
And compare that to how many people are criminally prosecuted for any number of crimes.
Right.
Every single day, from possession of marijuana to unpaid parking tickets and speeding tickets. You go down the list, all sorts of petty crimes, all sorts of behavior which shouldn't even be criminalized. And every day you see these people being arrested, their lives being changed for the worse.
Yeah.
And yet, compare that to the response of how capital is treated when they kill people.
Yeah.
When their actions and inactions result in people losing their lives, that's families and communities that are affected forever.
Yeah. Kim Kelly wrote for The New Republic about Workers' Memorial Day. The title is The Grim New Relevance of Workers' Memorial Day. She writes, truly the best way to honor the workers who keep this country running is not to pay tribute to them after they're already dead and gone. It's to take care of them while they're still here. When Mother Jones said, pray for the dead and fight like hell for the living, she wasn't talking about hand claps or simpering news segments. She was talking about solidarity, supporting our fellow workers, beating back the bosses, and taking bread and planting roses. That's the attitude that we need to be taking as we head into May Day and as we bow our heads on Workers' Memorial Day. The working class needs to seize the future while we still have time to live it. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.